Welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders. I'm Orit, dancer, instructor, and proud owner of a thriving belly dance fitness business. And in this podcast, I'm giving it to you straight, sharing what it takes to kickstart and grow your dance and fitness business for the success you deserve. Whether you're a seasoned instructor, a passionate performer, or dreaming of turning your love for dance and fitness into a thriving career, you're in the right place. Lace up those sneakers and pull on those dance shoes and get ready for truth smacks, tips, and inspiration. Let's do this. Hey there, and welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders. I'm Orit, your host. Thank you so much for shimming on over into my space and making some time in your day to listen to this podcast and get educated. So thank you so much for that. I am so excited to have Portia on of Belly Motions. Woohoo! Portia, thank you so much for coming. How are you?
I love you. First of all, Orit, thank you so much for bringing me on. Number one, we are in similar fields, not just the belly dance industry, but also the fitness industry, yes, which is super cool. Mm-hmm. We're the Richard Simmons of belly dance, girl. We need to do it. We need to do shimmies to the oldies. We should do like a rendition, like a DVD series. And like, as all of us old now, we're like, ah, I love it. Anyway, I'm glad to be on. Thank you everyone for listening. Some of you may or may not know me. I've been belly dancing for a very long time. But I've always been out of the spotlight in the belly dance world, if you will. And I've always done my own thing. So just moving and grooving over here in Miami. And that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Awesome, Portia. Awesome. And I do want to let my listeners know how I came to know you. First of all, this is a podcast about teaching and business, and I harp about great teaching, and I harp about being a great dancer doesn't mean you're a great teacher, right? They're both different skill sets, yeah? And so Portia immediately made me stop the scroll. So on Facebook, I'm going through and I'm seeing people teach classes, and then I stop at her and like, wait, hold up a second. Whoa, this lady is using the beat? Whoa, hold up. Oh, she cued? Whoa, wait, hold up a second. Her students followed her seamlessly? I was like, I've got to get to know this lady. And I followed her, and like all her videos are beautiful. Thank you, Portia, for showing that you can cue seamlessly, teach on the beat, and use belly dance as inspiration. So thank you for that. That's one.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
And two,
thanks for recognizing it.
Oh, of course. You know, we're of around the same age, and we both teach fitness. We know. And then I recently heard your podcast, the Belly Dance Life podcast with Yana Komenitska. And I was floored to hear what had happened to you and the flack that people gave you. And I was like, I really resonated with you. And because, you know, I've gotten flack from people too, and I still kept with it. So I was really, really resonating with your resilience too. And I want to talk about that when it comes to entrepreneurship and resilience. Cool? So we're going to start off with that. I want to start off with your resilience origin story. Like, where did it all start? When was the moment when you knew, shit, I've got to move through this?
Wow. So yeah, resilience, business, dance, women, put all those words together. And what do you get? Shenanigans, challenges, drama, joy, fun. There's a whole bunch of mixed experiences and emotions when you think about entrepreneurship and resilience and business and women and dance and glitter and competition. But, you know, when I started teaching, I was the tender age of 22. And I started teaching at a Christian gym here in Miami. I had just graduated college, moved to Miami to pursue a career as a belly dancer, even though I had not belly danced extensively. I think I had danced for about 5 months when I knew that's it. I don't want to get a master's. I want to teach belly dance and bring joy. So I started teaching at a gym, and I was clueless. I didn't know about rhythms. I didn't know too much about culture, but I had trained as a fitness instructor. So I knew how to teach, how to stay on beat, how to cue, what was safe, what wasn't safe. So I had all of those skills, and I was determined to incorporate them and create a great format that anyone could do. Basically, Ori, there's been so many challenges and so much hate. I'm not even going to call it I'm going to call it like straight up jealousy and hate. And it's so interesting because, the belly dance community, quote unquote, is so big on sisterhood, but that's bull dinky. Okay. The sisterhood only exists within the companies or the troops or the dance studios that create cliques and create that little scene. And the minute you leave it, you're a traitor. Or the minute someone new comes in, maybe they're not accepted. So that's how I see this whole thing, like belly dance community. Like I'm trying not to be like an Eeyore, like a Debbie Downer, but like of 20 years of this, whenever I see marketing and it's like, join a sisterhood of community, I'm like, really? You mean like a cult or like a sorority? And then the minute the girl doesn't want to do what you're doing and she goes and studies with someone else, you get mad? You mean that kind of sisterhood?
Mm.
And maybe I'm just mean and old and crabby. And maybe that's just been my experience here in Miami. But I have seen that time and time again. So there's just so much. I'm so sorry I'm going off on a tangent.
Never.
It's hard there's been so much that I can't even start from the beginning. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
It does make sense. And don't be sorry. This is your lived experience. I mean, no one can say you're wrong. So very perfectly valid to feel that way. But what was the first event that happened to you where you had to now develop a thick skin?
Okay, so one of the first events that happened to me where I realized, shit was going to get real, that it wasn't all butterflies and glitter. The day I opened Belly Motions, the day I opened my studio, my business, I'm 25 years old. I have no money. I'm banking on this. And I remember the opening was from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. And at 2:15-ish, one of the girls, who was there with me, one of my friends said, "Oh, you have a phone call." And it was a famous, famous dancer who lived in Miami as well. And I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, so-and-so's on the phone. And I went to the bathroom to take this big call, and my heart was pumping and I was so excited. And what I received on the other line was the exact opposite of what I was anticipating. I basically was told, how dare you open a studio, charge less than the going rate. I don't want, quote unquote, I don't want to have to hate you, but this is not how things are done. And my heart and my little charisma, my little Richard Simmons, shriveled into a little dried prune. I almost died. Like my heart, I wanted to throw up. This person that I admired, that was like super successful, super famous in the belly dance world, basically ripped me a new butthole. And I had done nothing wrong but open up a business to have a career as a working person, as a working woman. And I don't want to be mean, but this person didn't do her math. She didn't do her math right, her numbers, because my classes were not cheaper than hers. They were actually more expensive. They would teach an hour and a half. I taught for 60 minutes. So my prices were reflective of the time, not for an hour and a half, but for 60 minutes. So they weren't thinking business. They were thinking, this is how it's always been done. This is how my teacher taught me. You're changing it. You're wrong. How dare you? And it's like, in business, like, how dare anyone tell an entrepreneur not to open a business? That's like the worst thing you could tell a young person. Don't do it. Don't be creative. Don't open up your own business. Don't be a unique individual and follow your dreams. I mean, who does that?
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the end.
Ugh.
And there were many other experiences. And I attribute it to being young. I was very pretty when I was young, and I was thin, and I had fake boobs, and I looked like the ethnic Barbie belly dancer, if you are. And I think that played a role too, because if I were 300 pounds and, maybe homely and not super pretty, I have a feeling people may not have picked on me. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, maybe I'm wrong. But that was my experience. And it continued, the bullying, the jealousy. And then I started participating in it even. I started like lashing back, like, well, F that studio, what a-holes, instead of just ignoring it. And I did ignore it for years. But then I started to it wears you down. You're like, well, they shut the F up. I'm not copying you. I don't even know what you're doing. Like nowadays we have Instagram and Facebook, but you have to understand this is 2005, 6, 7. Facebook, it was MySpace time, first of all. And Facebook was just starting to get going. There was no Instagram. There was no TikTok. So no, you didn't know what your neighbor was doing. You really didn't. Now you know what everyone's doing because you can see it on a phone. We didn't have that back then. So I just stayed in my little bubble, my little hole, and tried to survive. I didn't know what other people were doing, and I didn't care. I was opening my own business. I was excited for life, and I just kept getting punched in the face, And so I did develop thick skin, but it didn't harden me until now that I'm old and perimenopause, and I don't care anymore. Now I don't care. Like, I have a viral video and like thousands of people are like being mean to me. I honestly don't care. Like, I'm never going to see you. I don't see you daily. I don't live with you. So like, I'm sorry you don't like it. Like, so sad, too bad, but I'm still living my best life. I can't make everybody happy. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So may I ask, you have a viral video. Wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. I have several.
And
I have like 20.
Oh, congratulations to you. Love it.
Yeah.
And what bad comments? What are the bad comments?
Well, the interesting thing, I did a podcast with Jennifer. She lives in Orlando. Belly Dance by Jennifer. She's amazing. And it's so interesting. She interviewed me and she wanted to talk about a viral video. So she pulls up this video. She's talking about this video, and it's me doing the Hagala, which I was taught was called the Algerian shimmy. And everybody's ripping me a new one, saying that's not the name. How could she call it that? Blah, 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 blah. And I only saw like 3 comments. I did not want to scroll through. And I told her, I said, well, Jen, thanks for letting me know. I said, I didn't know I had that viral video. And I'm like, okay, but I didn't know it was so negative. So it was interesting. And I could tell that she was perplexed and she felt bad, that I was not aware we were talking about a viral video that was negative. And she was great about it. She just, kept going. But people are mean, man. I don't know. People are mean. My thing is, you can think it, but you shouldn't say it, and you should not write it anywhere because It's there forever. Think whatever you want. Free mind, free minds, right? We have freedom in our mind. No one can take that. But don't say it, and especially don't write it, because you're putting that out there forever. And it's painful and it's hurtful. And I just got off a TV show on Food Network, Worst Cooks in America, making my husband prouder by the day. You can't make it up. He's married to a belly dancing non-cook, like you can't. Anyway, I was on this show with a famous chef. Her name is Chef Anne Burrell. And, we were on it. I was on her team. She's famous, not only as a TV personality, but as a chef. Kind of like belly dancers can be super well known and famous. They're like the masters. These are people that have really talented skills and they've come a long way. Well, she committed suicide. I'm just like, but I was just with her. But she seemed so strong and so she was there. I don't understand. So my thing is, you don't know what someone's going through. Don't contribute to the drama.
Yeah.
Think it, don't say it.
Yeah.
I mean,
people who are making those comments, they need to be careful, especially those who have a business, because that's potentially hurting them and their business.
I don't know why no one ever learns that lesson.
Yeah.
People have, but it doesn't make you look good when you put other people down.
No.
It's just not nice. And I've made a few mistakes in my career, usually as a response to bullying, where I'm like, okay, you know how you keep getting punched and then finally the person flips out like a lunatic?
Yeah.
That was me. It kept building. And then I kind of blew my lid. And that wasn't nice. That was painful to other people. I'm sure I shouldn't have done it. But that sometimes happens too. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail, but learn from it and don't do that again.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. So I don't do that. I don't write anything mean. I don't even know.
Portia, I'm so sorry that you've gone through this and maybe are going through it, here and there. I want to ask you, so can you help those who are going through it and maybe help prepare those who may in the future? What is the process that you go through before you decide how to respond?
The best response is no response to the bullies or to the people that are, creating pain in your life. And it's to create your bubble of perhaps your family or your friends or your art or an animal. I'm very big on loving animals and, having peace with gardening. It's creating your own bubble in your own world, knowing your value, knowing your worth, and not letting other people tear you down. Mm-hmm. It's easier said than done. I'll tell you, perimenopause helps. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we can't speed up perimenopause, mm-hmm. and we probably don't want to. But it's the thing is, it's hard, especially young people. I remember how much I cried and how many sleepless nights I had and how much anxiety in my gut. It was painful. It was it's like my world was crashing because I didn't really have a world. I didn't have children. I didn't have a husband. I didn't have a mortgage. My whole world was this belly dance thing, right? And it's really hard to have thick skin when that is your whole world. And now you have to show face in a space that's tearing you down. So unfortunately, time heals all wounds and time creates a strong, thick skin and wisdom,
Yeah.
So sometimes time is the only way you're going to survive it.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, when someone lashes out at me, I don't respond. I just need to sit with it. I want to respond immediately. But you're right. For me, not responding has been the best thing. People think that I should. No, but I'm not. It's worked for me. It's helped me stay out of the drama. And it's helped me have staying power, to be honest with you. So
absolutely. If you don't respond and don't engage, you win.
I believe that.
You win.
I believe that. Yes.
The minute you respond, you have given in.
Yes.
Just keep scrolling. Or you can delete. You can delete too, or block people if you want. Do you? But responding as in, actually writing a response or verbally saying something, because I get voice messages sometimes from people. Not, not just comments. I get like voice messages and it's like, oh Lordy.
Oh my God. Do people not have anything else important to do? I mean, come on.
I don't do stuff like that. I just never have. And I'm not perfect. And I'm definitely an a-hole in many regards, but I don't support that. That's just not needed.
Psst. Hey, you. Yeah. The one who's spending hours prepping for your classes and hoping students come back and you're feeling like you're guessing your way through. Dude, I've been there. Guess what? It doesn't have to be that way. Inside the Sharkey Instructor Academy, I teach you how to lead with clarity, lead with confidence, and with a method that actually works for both you and your students. Less stress, better classes, and more income. Can I get an amen? Just go to sharkey.com/teach to learn more and join us. That's SHARQUI.com/teach. Are you able now to decipher between criticism that's worth listening to and the kind that someone is just projecting their own stuff on you?
Yes, I absolutely can. And usually I will take constructive criticism from my clients or my students or people that I am serving, meaning if I'm teaching and there's a reel and one of the girls says, I thought the hip drop was done this way, then I can respond, yes, you can do it that way, but there's also this version. But if it's something just hateful and just pure bullying stuff, I'm not going to respond.
First of all, there's not one way to do a move, FYI, okay? There are many ways and many styles, and it depends where you're from. So that could be telling. Are teachers saying, this is the only way? Yeah, you got to wonder. Because teachers, if you're saying that, shame on you. You know that there's diversity in the moves, diversity in the people and the culture and the styles. So shame on you if you are a teacher who's saying that.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Yeah. And also anatomy, kinesiology, physiology, biomechanics, certain bodies can't do certain moves the way that their ballerina teacher can do, for example. If you don't have turnout, if you are taller, your center of gravity is less. If you're shorter, it's more. So certain moves make you off balance when you're super tall. There's so much. Your spine, if your spine is, if you have lordosis, you can't tuck your tailbone all the way in. You have lordosis. Like there's so many things that can play a role in the way a move looks, feels, and how it should be done. There is no one way because there's no one body type. We're all different.
And that's the beauty of dance.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Going back to resilience, because you are, Portia, you're the master of this, especially telling me your story when we spoke personally, and especially your story on the other podcast with Jana Komenitska. Let's say you walk into class to teach, and you're dealing with this major business stress and drama. How do you switch into teacher mode and still give students your best?
Oh my gosh, I love it. Teaching, when I walk into class or when someone walks in and it's time to teach, it is like my happy place, my happy space, my safe space. It's the one thing I'm really good at is making people feel good, getting them to move and giving them joy. Through belly dance. I mean, I could also do aerobics. I mean, any sort of physical movement, like I can deliver. Don't ask me to cook or clean or do any sort of things with the kids, math, it's not happening. But when it comes to teaching belly dance, that is my medium. That is what I'm good at. And that is my happy place.
I love that.
Yeah. Like today, for example, this morning when I was teaching, I was a little bit stressed out. I had nothing prepared, and I always do lesson plans the day before my classes. But yesterday, one of our students who I've known since she was a teenager, she's in her 30s now, ended up with sepsis in the hospital. So I was super stressed about it. My kids just started school. They're little. So there was like a lot going on, and I wasn't able to create my lesson. I went live and I was like on the computer and with the girls in person, I'm like, ladies, I have something to tell you. I was like, I have nothing prepared. I'm like, however, I'm going to go with the music and go with some combos and see what this brain comes up with. And I said, and then at water break, if you have requests, I'll be more than happy to take them. And the class was magic. It was amazing. And then as I was teaching, I'm like, this is so great. This is, I don't have to be scared of this. This is fun. The girls were laughing and smiling. And then I came up with in my mind as I'm teaching, which, if you're a good teacher, it's interesting how your brain can cue the music, be on beat, know when the musical phrase is coming. You're still telling them what they're doing, what direction. I mean, all of that's going on in my brain. And I'm thinking, you know what? We should go to the hospital and belly dance for Kathleen today. I'm like, I'm going to tell them at water break. And so at water break, I was like, girls, I have an idea. Anybody want to go visit Kathleen with me tonight? I was like, I'm going to wear a costume. We'll do a belly gram. By the way, do you remember what belly grams are?
I do.
It's in the 90s.
Yeah.
They don't do them anymore. That's when a belly dancer will show up, surprise the birthday girl or the person of honor for like 5-10 minutes, do a little dance and leave. Super cute. So we're going to do that tonight. Actually, we're going to go to the hospital. Me and the entourage, whoever's going to come, we're going to wear costumes and we're going to carry music like 80s. We're going to mix the 80s with belly dance. So I said, we're carrying it like this. We're going to do a belly gram, make fools of ourselves, make Kathleen smile and laugh, hang out for a little bit and then leave. So there you go. That's what teaching does for me. It's my happy, happy place. It empowers me and it empowers the women I teach. And when I'm depressed, they bring me up. And when they're depressed, I bring them up. It's this whole reciprocal sharing of movement, music, and emotion. And it's just joyous and it's real. It's authentic. Now, there was a time that I faked it. There was times when I had heartbreak from a breakup. When my son, who had cancer, he had cancer twice during the pandemic. When he was in remission and we were out of the hospital, I went back to teaching. And I was a little off, like mentally. And, I was very like nervous and anxious and it had been a while. And I remember faking it because I was still healing from that trauma and I was still depressed and I felt guilty for feeling sexy or feeling happy. I didn't want to because all those kids were suffering. So after a while, it took 1.5 years, I started to get Portia back. So there's times that you do fake it till you make it,
Yeah, sure.
It's life, right? Just like any job, if you're down and you're an attorney or a musician or a surgeon, you still have to go to work. Like you have to get it done.
Of course.
So it doesn't change anything with being a belly dance teacher.
And I'm so glad that you have your community to lean on, and that is the vessel that you use to feel good. But now, what about mentors? Do you have any mentors to help you through this?
So when I was a beginner dancer, I had quite a few mentors, and some of them maybe don't even realize they were my mentors. And some of them would give me lots of advice, lots of guidance. So I definitely have had a lot of mentors in the beginning of my career, belly dance teachers that knew the ways. I remember being inspired by Irene. She retired many years ago. She was a big dancer here in Miami. She was taught by Tamerlane Dalal, who is almost like the grandmother of belly dance here in Miami. She's not here anymore. She's in Louisiana, I believe, but she kind of like was one of the dancers that started the whole belly dance scene. I studied with Hanan. I studied with Bujinka. I studied with Virginia. A lot of dancers here in Miami, as far as like being inspired by dance. But mentorship came, I think, mostly from Irene. Okay. Yeah, she would tell me, you never charge less than $250, never, and you never dance this way. And she was very refined. She came from ballet. She was Venezuelan, and she really grounded me. And she would tell me, people are not going to like you because you're dancing with me. And I never understood that when I was a beginner. Like, what do you mean? But then I learned it's once you're part of this group, you can't go over to that other group. And once you study with this team and you become part of this troupe, you could never go to the other troupe or you're considered a traitor. That's just how it works, I guess. I don't know if it's still like that. So mentors, yeah. And then probably my biggest mentor is Valerie. She and I met at University of Miami, where we were studying belly dance. We were beginners, baby belly dancers. She is 20 years older than me. And we met and we just hit it off. When I opened my studio, she started to come to support. And then I got booked to do a show in Bogota, Colombia, my first international show. And I was so excited and so scared and so stupid because I went to Bogota in flip-flops and shorts, not realizing it's in the damn mountains, like 30 degrees. Anyway, I just, hashtag white people problems, thinking all of Colombia is tropical. You can't make it up. Anyway, so I told Valerie, oh my God, I got booked for this. And she said, well, what about the studio? I go, I don't know. What am I going to do? And she said, leave me your cell phone. I'll manage it for the week that you're gone. And the rest is history. Now, she had a full professional career, white collar, and she did such a great job because she was educated, and she had been working 20 years longer than me, and she knew how to run a business and how to answer a phone. So she really got the company going. And I remember landing and getting home and her calling me and saying, by the way, you're booked tomorrow for Giuseppe Ginotti's. It's a famous shoe designer at Merrick Park. And I'm like, what? So she from that point on, she kind of took me under her wing and she became like my dance mama. And she became like a mom, more than just dance. She cared so much about me and so much about belly motion. She put every effort of energy into helping me grow as a dancer, as a teacher, the studio. She's been with me for 20 years. She worked with me for about 12, 15. Then we took a break, pandemic things. She came back and she's been my biggest mentor and supporter. So I have to say, a lot of my success is attributed to a non-belly dancer, to a good friend that became my biggest mentor, Valerie.
And so this is great. This is a great segue into this next question. So besides being a great teacher, I can see that you're a great business person. Just looking online and all the offerings that you have and how you offer it, streaming, Facebook Live, whatever it is, YouTube. Who taught you all this? How did you learn all this?
Trial, error, and a lot of failure. Honestly, I taught myself. I only recently hired a marketing company a year ago, which I had to let go because it was like $5,000 a month and I had gotten scammed. So I had lost a lot of my cash flow and stuff. But other than having a professional company for like a year, I've done everything myself. So I learned about marketing. I learned about accounting. I learned about branding, about making offers. I've learned social media now, posting reels and YouTube and and it's just a lot. I feel like I spend more time learning how to darn run my business than dancing. But that's how it is now, So I'm self-taught.
Yeah, but you have to have the drive to want to do it.
You have to have the drive. And when you don't have, anything to fall back on and you don't want to work 9 to 5, a white collar, job, corporate America, you find a way, girl. You make it work.
So you got scammed from a marketing company, right? And
I got scammed from a Pakistani pretending to work for the Steve from Diary of a CEO. And I realized I got scammed. My heart was crushed. Yeah. And then I realized I lost everything. My 1 million followers, freaking whatever. I don't even want to talk about it because it's okay. But being betrayed by dancers, that has happened to me a lot. And it always happens. And when I see young people and they're pairing up with people and they're opening a business and I feel so bad. They're all like excited about it. And then I think, God, they just don't realize that people ultimately are going to choose themselves and what's right for them and or their family. And they're going to come first, not that person that put the blood, sweat, and tears into building that business. So ultimately, when any business, it doesn't mean belly dance. It could be you open a dentistry office, you open an accounting school or whatever. You will teach these people, you will grow together, but ultimately they're going to go where they want because they're going to, make their own needs be met. And that'll always happen.
So let's say it does happen to these people. And so what is your advice for the next generation? What would you say to a brand new instructor of any kind who's already feeling discouraged because of negativity or lack of support? What advice would you give them?
Like if I could go back and give myself advice and give advice to these young people, ignore it. Don't even scroll. Don't look at what other people are doing. Innovate and create on your own. You'll be more successful that way. And just keep going.
Amen. Yes.
That's what you need to do.
Yep.
Just keep going. Like you're in your own little bubble. And don't let the haters hate. They hate. I got thousands of people that love me, millions. And I got thousands of people that are super mean. Super mean. Sometimes I hit translate because I want to see what the person says. And I'm like, whoops. Let's skip next. Like, I'm not going to read it. So I don't even read my comments unless it's for business where I'm like, okay, I need to give people my website. Yes, absolutely. Those comments I read. But when I can tell there's haters, I'm like, yeah, I'm not even going to waste my time with this. It's funny because all these, God bless them, all these girls, I get a lot of heat about not being political on my channels. And I am not a political channel. I am teaching belly dance for fun and fitness. I am not here to choose sides in any war. I am not here to tell people what to eat or not eat. I am not here to say who's a great dancer and who's not. And I'm most certainly, not here to create negativity and competition and fear and pain. So I just don't go there, girl. Nope. I'm not going to let people push me around and listen. Nope. That is not what my platforms are for. My platforms are a business called Belly Motions, teaching belly dance for fun and exercise. There's so many problems. I am not focusing on any of that in my platform, period.
Good for you.
That's my private life and my private person and my private beliefs. And I am not going to use my business to promote an agenda.
Yep. Yeah.
Girls, I love yous, but I'm sorry. Pick another belly dancer or whatever. I'm so sorry, but you don't need to tear me down because you're angry about a situation.
Yep, that's a form of bullying. That's bullying.
You're bullying me because I'm not doing what you want.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for educating us, teaching us how to be resilient based on what you did and what works for you. It's amazing conversation. I definitely want to have you back when it comes to teaching for sure. And
Absolutely.
also sisterhood, because you had said there's not a lot of sisterhood, but you know what? Let's create that sisterhood. Because, people have told me, why are you going to be interviewing your competition? I'm like, she's not my competition. I adore her. She's a great instructor. And I want to support great instructors. Yeah, but she teaches belly dance fitness. Who gives a shit? She's beautiful. She has a beautiful heart. I want to be her when I grow up. She has great resilience and she has a lot to offer this world and there's room for everybody. So where can people find out about you? Where can they take classes from you, learn more? Spill it.
So more belly dancing with Miss P. I'm here in Miami, so I have in-studio classes. You can find the schedule on bellymotions.com. And then I'm on all the socials. I'm even on TikTok, which is super annoying, but Anyway, and you can find me at Belly Motions. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I make
Love
fun
it.
of TikTok so much. I can't believe I'm 46 years old on TikTok. Sorry.
That's okay. Go and try her classes from one instructor to another. She's amazing. So
Thank
go
you.
and take
Right back at you, sister.
Oh, thank you.
We should do a masterclass together. Should do a tour. Should go on tour.
Oh, totally on tour. I would love, Portia, for you to take us out with our signature outro.
All right, folks. Until next time, go ahead and kick some ass.